Hi guys, this is going to be the tutorial that's going to show you how to make this ruffled cell phone holder. And in another tutorial I showed you how to make the ruffle bag. And so I'm going to be making a ruffled cell phone holder for it. So if you made the bag, then grab the same 3 colors as you did before. And we'll be making it the same way that we did the other. In the way of the colors, I'm going to be using the main color as the medium color. And it's going to take, if you're just watching this video, you didn't watch the ruffle bag, it takes 10 ply yarn, which is 4 ply for the US. And this project you're going to need a 5.5 millimeter hook or a size I hook for the US. And you're going to need a 3.5 millimeter hook or size E to make the button. And you're going to need a tapestry needle to sew on the button. And if you're going to make it like me, you need at least 3 different colors. So let's get started. Start with your medium color. You need to chain 11. And then once you have that done, starting from the second chain from the hook, put a, this is 1, 2, put a single crochet. And then continue to put a single crochet in each stitch. And you'll have a total of 10. Single crochets. You're going to pivot your work, turn your work to where the bottom of the stitches are now at the top, and you're going to work another single crochet into the same stitch that you worked your last single crochet. And now you're going to be working in all the bottom stitches. So just go into that bottom stitch and single crochet. Go into the next and continue to work your way back up to the beginning. I went through 2 of my stitches at the beginning, so I only have 1 loop left here to go through. But it doesn't really matter how you do it. Just as long as you get back to the beginning and you have 20 stitches. Okay, I got to the end and I have my 20 stitches. I'm going to slip stitch into my first stitch of the round. Then you want to chain 1, and then into that same stitch you just slip stitched into, put a single crochet, and then continue to put a single crochet, working all the way down and then back up around again. And this is round 2. So for rounds 2 through 5, for the next 4 rounds, you need to just put 1 single crochet all the way around, and you'll have 20 stitches around. I just wanted to show you, for those who may have difficulty seeing which is the first stitch of the round because you have this other, is make sure that you count your stitches starting from the last one that you just did, count all the way back. And when you have 20, then you know the first stitch here is going to be the one to slip stitch into. And then from here on, you just chain 1, single crochet in the same stitch, and just continue. So that was the end of round 2, so just continue single crocheting all the way around, and I'll see you at the end of round 5. With round 5, slip stitching to my first stitch of the round to complete it, and you should have a cup forming. Now for this round, I'm just going to pull up just to make sure I have a pretty good loop. You don't want a tight loop here. And then go into the next stitch and pull up a loop and pull through the loop on your hook to do a slip stitch. Go into the next one and do a slip stitch. You want to do this loosely. You don't want the slip stitches to be too tight because you're going to be working in them later on. So just continue all the way around. You know, you should still have 20. We'll have 20 stitches throughout this project. So just make sure after every round that you have 20, especially on a row where you did this slip stitch round, because you can lose a stitch really easily for some reason. So just keep on working your slip stitches around. Count your stitches at the end, and I will see you back here in a moment. And you can see that it's starting to form another row on the side of the stitches, but you still have your stitches here on top. Row, and I'm back at the beginning, and again, like I showed you, you still have your stitches running along the top, and then the slip stitches are running along the side. So what you want to do this round is work in the slip stitch, not slip stitches. You want to work in the single crochet stitches, not the slip stitches. So if you need to tilt it like this so that you can see it, then feel free to do so. Put your hook in there and single crochet. Go into the next stitch and single crochet. You're just working in the single crochet stitches. And after a few stitches, you should be able to see your slip stitches here in front, and your work is above them. Keep doing that to the end of the round. Okay, I just got done with round 7, and I counted my stitches. I have 20. And now I'm just going to continue to work in one continuous round. This is going to be my first stitch. So I'm going to get a marker. You don't have to do this. I just think it's better because you're not going to have a visible line. So I'm going to put a little marker there. And then I'm just going to continue to work around my single crochets in one continuous round for 4 rounds. So we're on round 8. So rounds 8 through 11, we're going to be doing single crochets in each row. So continue to do that, and I'll see you at the end of row 11. Okay, I'm at the end of row 11, and for round, sorry, I keep saying row, out of habit, round 12 is going to be another slip stitch round. So just go through each stitch, doing like before, doing a loose slip stitch in each stitch around. And I will see you at the end of round 12. Okay, that's the end of row 12. And now for round 13, do like you did before, and single crochet in the stitches behind the slip stitches into the single crochets. And at the end of this round, make sure that you count your stitches, especially after this round. Make sure that you have 20 stitches. For this next round, you go into the next stitch. There we go, this one. You go into your first stitch, single crochet, next stitch. This is going to be another single crochet round. We're going to be single crocheting in each stitch around. This row here that we're doing now is row 14. So from rows 14 to 17, the next 4 rows, do 1 single crochet in each stitch around, and I will meet you back here at the end of round 17. Back. I'm at the end of round 17, and from rounds 18 to 27, we're going to be doing the exact same thing we did here. So from rounds, you're basically going to be repeating like 12 through 17. So repeat rounds 12 through 17, doing your slip stitch round, single crocheting behind the slip stitch round, and then doing 4 more rows. With round 23, and I didn't, as you can see, I didn't single crochet over all the way to my marker because now we're going to be making the flap for the cell phone. So what you want to do is stop somewhere on the side, and we need to count over 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The 10th one is here and slightly bent over to the side, and this one's slightly bent to the side, going around. I mean, they're both on the edge where they're just about to go over, so it's even. They're both evenly on each side, so that's good. So I'm just going to stop here on this stitch, and you do the same. Don't necessarily work all the way to your marker. Stay back. So we're ready to make our flaps. So what we want to do is chain 1 and then start working in our stitches, our 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, that was row 24, and we want to chain 1 and turn. And now for row 25, we're going to be doing the same thing, single crochet and our 10 stitches across. Count our stitches, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, chain 1, turn. Row 26, again, single crochet, and your 10 stitches across. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Chain 1. Now for row 27, again we're going to single crochet 10 stitches across. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, for round 28, what we're going to do is chain 1 and turn. And row 28, we're going to be doing our buttonhole. So we want to single crochet in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we want to chain 2, and we're going to be skipping 2 stitches and single crocheting in our last 4 single crochets of the row. So single crochet 4, chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and then single crochet the last 4 stitches of the round. Chain 1, turn, and in row 29, going to single crochet in our first 4 single crochets, and then in the buttonhole we're going to put 2 single crochets into that same space, and then we're going to single crochet in the last 4 single crochets. and then you want to chain 1 and cut your yarn, leaving yourself a bit of a tail to be worked in later. And that's your main part of your cell phone holder done. Now we've got to start grabbing our colors. Darkest color first, if you're making it like your purse. And we're going to be making the ruffles exactly the same way as we did our purse. Get your darkest color, or whatever color you want to use for your ruffle. Going in through this first stitch, slip stitch your color onto it, just like that. Now you want to chain 3, and then in the same space, put 2 more double crochets. I worked over my tail just for the stitch, and now I'm going to move it out of the way so I can work it in with the tapestry needle later. Now in the next stitch, we're going to put 3 double crochets. Then in our next stitch, we're going to do the same thing, 3 double crochets for every slip stitch around, and you can bend it if you like to make them pop up. We're going to be putting 3 double crochets into those slip stitches that we made before. And I guess I should have pointed this out in case you didn't make the ruffle bag. These slip stitch rows here are what I'm talking about. All you got to do is bend them, and that makes those stitches pop out, and then those are the stitches that we're working in. So continue around in every slip stitch, put 3 double crochets, and I'll see you at the end of this round. First row of my ruffle, and what I want to do is slip stitch in the top of the chain 3 space, that first chain 3 that you did, slip stitch in that space, chain 3, which counts as your first double crochet. Then in the next stitch, do 1 double crochet. Then in the next stitch, put 1 double crochet. And we're going to continue to do that all the way around, putting 1 double crochet in each stitch. And then when you get back up to the beginning here, you slip stitch into the top of the chain 3 again. And that's how you do your ruffles. Each ruffle is going to be the 3 double crochets and then 1 double crochet in each stitch around. And I finished my ruffles done the same way, 3 double crochets and 1 double crochet in each one. And then I hid my tails. Now I'm going to show you how to make the button. I'm going to be using the medium color, and I'm going to be getting my 3.5 millimeter hook. Or size E hook, and then chain 3 this way. Excuse me. And then you're going to slip stitch in that beginning chain to form a ring. Then chain 1. Then now we're going to be working into the hole that we just made. We're going to be doing 8 single crochets in the center of this hole. I'm working over my little tail as I go. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now I'm going to slip stitch into my beginning stitch, chain 1, and then leave yourself, you know, a decent enough chain here. I mean, a decent enough tail so that you can sew on your button onto your cell phone holder. So get your tapestry needle and thread it. And what I usually do, since my tail's on this side, is I'll come in from the bottom, somewhere in the side of the middle. Not in the middle, but in one of the stitches to the side of the middle. Come through. That way I can start working now through these middle stitches here, leaving this outer edge to catch to become the button. So what I'm going to do is center my button here. Looks like the center. And then I'm going to be going through one of my stitches back here, since my tail is facing to the back of my button. And I'm going to be working around, like I said, only through those middle stitches that go around the center, leaving the outer edge alone to be my button, essentially. That's what's going to catch. And you can go around once or twice, however many times you feel comfortable that the button is secured. I usually like to go around a couple times. I'll bend my button just to see if it's, you know, not too open on one side or the other. This side seems to be a little bit more loose than the other. You want it to have a ridge around it, but you don't want it to be too, you know, loose. So I think it's good. So I'm going to go ahead and put my thread to the back. And what I usually do here is I'll go through a couple of stitches in the back, doesn't matter where. Pull up to where you've got a loop, put your needle through it, and then usually makes a knot. I guess I didn't have it over far enough. Try that again. Go through a couple of stitches here. Pull it through till I got a loop sticking up here. Stick my needle through it and pull it tight. I usually like to do this at least 3 times, and then I'll just feed my needle through one of the thicker parts back here. It's kind of tight. Then I'll cut my yarn. And then try your hole here on the button. Make sure that it fits. Looks good. And when I let's show you some little trick here. When I'm ready to attach it to my bag, this is only the part, obviously, for people who made the bag. I usually come on the inside here. This is the open part of the bag. And then these are my handles. One of the handles. And I only attach this once I've gotten my lining done. I haven't got my lining done, so I won't do that yet. But what I do is I'll attach it like near the bottom part where I began my what I guess would be called the border, where you want to put your button and everything. Come down here along the side of where my straps, one of my side straps are, and I like to attach it somewhere around here, somewhere towards the back. but on a thicker attachment. Not just on the thin part back here or the thin part of the strap, but near it, but one of the thicker parts towards the back side, so it doesn't show. And I attach it by chain, usually using the same color that I've been using before. If I can find it. What did I do? Here it is. I found it. My 3.5mm hook and my yarn here. And you can leave yourself a bit of a tail here to be worked in later. But this is just to show you because I haven't got my lining in, so I'm not going to keep it. So what I do is I get my cell phone holder, and I find here, somewhere at the back, where there's a fold, and I'll go right next to my flap on the side, and I usually attach my yarn right there. Just do a slip stitch, and then I usually chain about 35-40 stitches, depending on what size of the bag I'm making. For a medium, I would say do at least 40 stitches. Okay, so I got my 40 stitches. I usually cut my yarn here. Then I'll get my bag, attaching it, like I said, back on the thicker part back here. And what I'll do is I'll just go in. Let me get a little closer here for you. What I'll do is just go under a stitch, pulling up a stitch, and then I'm gonna slip stitch it on there. You definitely need a little bit more of a chain going here. I mean tail. Slip stitch it on there. And I'll go to the next stitch to the left, pull it up, slip stitch it on there, and then I'll go over again to the next, pull up a stitch, slip stitch it on there too, at least 3 times that you get this, 3 slip stitches to connect against it. And I'll just chain 1 and just pull it on through. And that's how I attach the cell phone holders to the bag. And that's it. This has been the Ruffle cell phone holder tutorial. I hope that you liked it. Please don't forget to like and share this video, and please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.